الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وأهل بيته وأمه وأبيه أجمعين. أما بعد، قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا فأنزل الله سكينته عليه وأيده بجنود لم تروها وجعل كلمة الذين كفروا السفلى وكلمة الله هي العليا والله عزيز حكيم. صدق الله مولانا العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. قال الله تعالى في شان حبيبه مخبرا وآمرا: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وصحبه يا حبيب الله. My very beloved and dearly respected ulama, those who recite Quran, those who recite the blessed Naat of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam, beloved and dearly respected elders, youngsters, brothers, and if there are sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My very, very humble and kind request will be, not for me, but in preparation for Qibla Hazrat Sahab and Qibla Sayyid Mirza Shah Sahab and Qibla Sayyid Sabir Shah Sahab, if you could please come a little bit forward from the back, especially the youngsters, I would be very, very appreciative of that. Jazakallah khair. Just a little bit forward. I really, really appreciate that. Jazakallah. And remember, if we go to the jungle, I'm not trying to say that any of us are animals, but I'm just trying to give you an example. You're only able, the wildebeest can only drink from the watering hole when they approach the watering hole. So you have to consider that this place over here is the watering place from where you are able to quench your thirst of knowledge. And if you don't come close to the ulama, forget me, if you don't come close to the ulama, you won't be able to gain any knowledge. So that's very, very important. Jazakallahu khairah for listening to me on this. Today we are gathered here for a very, very important purpose. And that important purpose is, it is a conference for Sayyiduna Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And in every single conference there are usually resolutions. And my resolution, though I wanted to mention it in the end, I want to mention it in the beginning. And the resolution I want to actually try and get you guys to agree with me, inshallah, is that I am really upset by the hijacking of the agenda of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala and by others and them labeling us certain things, and we not being worthy of mentioning the mention of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So henceforth in the future we are going to make every single effort to make sure that our names are not just associated with the mention of Ahlul Bayt, because that is very, very, very important, but we also attach our name to the mentioning of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu and all of the other companions. If you are in agreement with me, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. We have to make a conscious effort. And there is a reason why I mentioned this particular verse, because Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, amongst the many things of his life, there are some things that pop up very, very prominently. His friendship and his loyalty. To whom? To Rasulullah alayhi wasallam. So yes, it is important to have a sense of ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's also important to understand the other things that are involved as being a Muslim. Your association to Rasulullah ﷺ is not just a commandment by Allah and by Rasulullah, but it is also a necessity to believe from your heart and accept with your mind that Rasulullah ﷺ, he is the most beloved creation of Allah, and you also must love him as that. Which is why I want to mention this hadith. It's a very, very popular hadith, and I'm sure that you're able to follow me with it, inshallah. So it is narrated that Rasulullah ﷺ has said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والدي وولدي والناس أجمعين. أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Which basically means that none of you believe until you love me more than you love your parents, or your father in this instance, وَوَلَدِهِ, your children, وَالنَّاسِ أَجْمَعِينَ, and all the people in the entire world, basically. So this is the level of love that you need to have for Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. And now I want to come to Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Narai Takbir, Narai Salat, Narai Haydari, Narai Ghawthiyah, Sayyid Ahmad Hussain Shah Tirmidhi.
Narai Takbir, Narai Salat, Narai Haydari, Narai Haydari, Jane Abu Bakr Siddiq.
So, I want to give you a very brief intro to Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. We can touch his life on many aspects: his birth, his childhood, his companionship with Rasulullah, time before announcement of prophethood, time after the prophethood, many different aspects of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. But I just want to mention one in particular, or rather two. One is the whole qissa of QARI. We hear this all the time, that he is that very special companion. In fact, let me muddle up the order, but I'll just tell you this because बहुत ही प्यारी बात है. Just imagine this. It's a very tense time in Mecca, right? And everyone is beginning to migrate to Madinah al-Munawwara or to Habash, Ethiopia. And at that time, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he has in his heart, if only I could get the companionship to go to Madinah al-Munawwara with Rasulullah. But of course he doesn't say this, right? And Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala is asleep. And Rasulullah alayhi wasallam gets up from where he is living, where he is staying, and he goes towards Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala's house, and he wakes him up. And he says, I have been given a command by Allah to finally go to Madinah al-Munawwara, and you are coming with me. Can you imagine that? That connection to Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala that Rasulullah has, and vice versa. How important, how loving and how beloved that relationship is. Such a beautiful connection between both of them. I'm going to mention another thing as well, but before I go there, I want to just mention one thing. Usually we refer to them as Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, but his name is actually Abdullah bin Uthman, or Abdullah ibn Abi Quhafa, right? And in terms of the way he was built, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him and adorned him in this world, they were tall, and they had fair skin. They also had a slim and slender body, and had a slim and slender face. And they had, you know, some people who have bughz-e sahaba, they would say sunken eyes. That's not a way you say something when something is beautiful. You say deep, mesmerizing eyes. So you see, we know by the teachings of Huzur Mufakkir Islam how to address the Sahaba. Right? We don't have bughz-e Sahaba, we have muhabbat-e Ahl Bayt and respect for the Sahaba Ikram. So, and one more thing, which was very, very beautiful, the way that the person described Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. You know, never does anybody explain legs. And the author writes that Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu's legs were slim and slender, but they were muscular and they were very, very tight. Meaning that a person who is in the bargah of Rasulullah alayhi wasallam and does his khidmat constantly, obviously he's going to get toned legs, isn't he? MashaAllah. So the point is, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, a very beloved companion of Rasulullah alayhi wasallam, he is the one who was given the sharaf, he was the one who was given the ability, and he was also given the opportunity to accompany Rasulullah alayhi wasallam to Madinatul Munawwara. I just want to mention the enthusiasm about Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu in terms of his love for Rasulullah alayhi wasallam. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is also known as the first Khatib of Islam. Once Rasulullah alayhi wasallam was sitting amongst his companions, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in, and at this time there were only 39 companions who converted to Islam. There were 39. Very small number. They were gathered in Dar al-Aqam. That was like their headquarters. Okay, that's where they gathered. And Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, he said to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, please give me permission. Please give me permission to go and start speaking about Islam in front of everyone. And Rasulullah said, no, not at this time, because it's a volatile time, it's very sensitive, there's a possibility you might get attacked, etc., etc. But Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq said, Ya Rasulullah, with all due respect, please give me that moment, give me that chance, give me that ijazah so I can go and speak. So Rasulullah said, okay, go. And after that, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq he began to preach about Islam, and he is known as the first da'i ila Allah in Islam. In this particular instance, what happened? The kuffar of Mecca, they began to beat Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala. They beat him so badly that he was actually beaten senseless, and they only left him because he thought he was dead. Anyway, so Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala and his family came, they found out, so they took him home, and as soon as Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala opened his blessed eyes, the first thing that he said is, where is Rasulullah? Where is Rasulullah alayhi wa salam? What happened to Rasulullah alayhi salam? And his family, he was surrounded by his mother, his father, and other family members as well. Everybody got upset. Basically, that's what happened. So everybody left. His blessed mother, who wasn't a Muslimah at the time, she said, Wallah, I don't know. So Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala was then being fed by his mother. But he said, I will not eat. Wallahi, I will not eat until I know that Rasulullah alayhi wasallam is safe and sound. Then what happened? Then Rasulullah alayhi wasallam, he was asked about by different companions. And there was a Sahabiya who was the sister of Hazrat Faruq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who had already converted to Islam at the time. His mother, Abu Bakr's mother, went to her and asked, and because there was khatra, there was danger at the time, that whether or not, if I tell them, will I get beaten as well? She said, I don't know.